I was 27 when I stopped believing Earth was alone in the universe. The discovery didn't come from a telescope or a probe. It came from the bottom of the Mariana Trench. I was part of the Abyssal Reach Expedition, a joint international project to explore the deepest point of the ocean. Our goal was simple on paper: map uncharted geothermal vents and recover unknown microbial life. What we found instead, what I found, was something that shouldn't have existed on Earth at all. Our submersible, Pelican 9, had descended 11,000 meters when the sensors went haywire. Sonar pinged an impossible structure below us, an array of perfect hexagonal spires stretching across the trench floor. Artificial. Gigantic. Life. Is that coral? Dr. Yates asked, pressing his face to the viewport. Coral doesn't form 90-degree angles, I muttered. The lights from our vessel glinted off something metallic, then refracted through a translucent dome of shifting colors. The pressure outside was enough to crush steel, yet whatever it was stood unharmed, pulsing with slow, rhythmic light. And then the dome opened. It wasn't mechanical. It bloomed like a living organism. The light inside surged forward and wrapped us in a halo. The controls froze, alarms screamed, and I felt a sensation like my mind was being turned inside out. A voice, not sound, not words, but a presence, spoke directly in my thoughts. Do not fear. You were not meant to find this place. The others slumped unconscious. I alone remained awake. I should have been terrified, but instead I felt calm, as if lulled by something vast and ancient. Then I saw her. She was humanoid, but only barely. Her skin shimmered like liquid mercury, eyes like twin galaxies. She stood or floated before me, her form wavering between physical and energy. I somehow knew she was royalty, not because of a crown or attire, but because every fiber of my being screamed reverence. You have touched what is forbidden, she said. This sanctuary is the womb of a civilization forgotten by your kind. You must not remember this. Who are you? I whispered. Once, I was the sovereign of the Syrian, keepers of knowledge beyond your stars. We came to nurture this world. But your species was not ready. Her voice resonated with sorrow. Immense, timeless sorrow. When your kind reached the age of fire, we hid ourselves beneath your seas, and then we slept. Until now. Her gaze turned toward the unconscious forms of my colleagues. They will wake with no memory. You, however, she paused. Your mind resists. That is dangerous. I can keep your secret, I said, though my heart pounded. She smiled, an expression that felt like light breaking through storm clouds. You believe that now. But memory is a stubborn seed. She raised a hand, and a surge of silver light poured into me. I felt my thoughts unravel, my memories dissolving like ink in water. But just before darkness took me, she leaned closer and whispered, clear, intimate, haunting. Forget this ever happened. When I awoke, I was in a decompression chamber aboard the Atlas, our surface ship. The others were fine, confused but alive. The logs showed a routine mission. No anomalies. The footage had been corrupted by pressure interference. Even the black box was blank. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had spoken to me. Over the following weeks, I tried to focus on reports and debriefings, but fragments kept surfacing. Flashes of light, a voice in my mind, the shimmer of alien eyes. I convinced myself it was oxygen narcosis or decompression sickness. But then the dreams began. In them I saw the Queen, always the same, reaching toward me from beneath the ocean, whispering in that serene voice. You were not meant to remember. Months passed. The expedition was hailed as a success. We published papers, gave interviews. Everyone moved on. Everyone except me. Because I started to hear things when I was near the sea. Low frequencies no one else could hear, pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. Once, while standing on the deck during a storm, I heard her voice again, faint but unmistakable. You still remember. 3 years later I returned to the trench, this time alone. By then I'd been dismissed from the research division for obsessive delusions. I sold everything I owned to fund a private dive, modifying an old deep-sea pod for solo descent. I told no one where I was going. When I reached the same coordinates, I found the ocean floor barren. The hexagonal spires were gone. No structure, no light, nothing. It was as if the entire alien city had never existed. But then my instruments picked up a faint signal, a sequence of tones repeating in a pattern too structured to be natural. It formed words when I filtered the frequencies through a translator algorithm. Leave this place. The memory binds us both. I hesitated. Why me? I spoke into the calm, knowing it was madness. Why let me remember at all? For a long moment there was silence. Then the voice returned, not in my ears but in my mind again, like a tide washing through thought. Because your kind will come again. You will be the bridge. And then the lights returned. The ocean floor split open, revealing the glowing dome once more. The Queen emerged, her form brighter, less human than before. I cannot exist in your world any longer. The oceans have changed. The stars have moved. My kind sleeps forever. But you, she said, carry our echo. Before I could reply, a column of light surrounded the submersible. Every gauge, every circuit, every sensor overloaded. And then silence. When I opened my eyes again, I was on the surface, floating. The sub was gone. No wreckage, no debris. Just the endless expanse of the Pacific, and the echo of her final words burned into my mind. Forget this ever happened. It's been 15 years since then. I've tried everything. Therapy, hypnosis, even neural dampeners to forget. Nothing works. The memory refuses to die. Sometimes late at night, I still hear her voice through the static of my radio, whispering in a language I shouldn't understand but somehow do. And when I look at the stars, I feel her watching, waiting. I've come to realize something. She didn't mean forget in the way we think. She meant keep it buried until the world is ready. Until someone listens. Because lately, strange signals have begun repeating across global deep-sea monitors. Tones identical to the ones I heard that day. The same rhythm, the same pulse. Scientists dismiss it as seismic interference, but I know better. The Queen is calling again. And this time I think she's calling all of us.